Today, we are talking about something that people ask me about all the time, and that is how to create harmony in your home when you have pets and then you bring a puppy into the house. So let's dive into this a little bit. So we all know that puppies can be kind of obnoxious. They are high energy, they are bad-mannered, they are untrained in the beginning, they can be really annoying. So there's a lot of times where your pets that are in your house are finding the puppy to be annoying. So I know with my house, we have Sadie, who is 10, and she was getting to be like 5 or 6 years old, and we thought, wouldn't it be amazing if she had another dog to play with? We felt bad. We were working from home, but she had to just sleep for a lot of the time while we were working, and we were like, if she had another dog, she could just be playing in the living room the whole time. So we got a puppy. Tessa arrived, and we realized that Sadie would rather be an only dog. She was not pleased at all. She was wondering when we were going to bring her back, and she wasn't happy to have a puppy. You see all the videos online and you think, my dog is just gonna love this puppy and they're gonna be like mother and baby. Well, that was not the case for Sadie. So I have been through all of this before, and I totally get it if you bring your puppy in and some of your pets are not happy. Sometimes they can be jealous, sometimes they can just be overwhelmed with the high energy. There's all of a sudden this whirling dervish running around the house. So there's a few things you can do if you haven't brought your puppy home yet. I know some of you go through this course before you actually get your puppy to kind of get yourself ready. If you haven't brought your puppy home, there's something called scent swapping, where you take like a blanket that the puppy has been on and a blanket that your dog or cat has been on, and you swap them. So you bring up a blanket home that the puppy has been on and you put it with your dog, give it to your dog so that they can get used to the smell. It's a way for them to start realizing that maybe there's another dog that's going to be around. This is a great thing if you know the breeder, or maybe we saw Tessa weeks before we picked her out and then we came back when she was ready to come home. So maybe in that time you could arrange to do something like that. Also a great idea, if you haven't introduced your pets yet, is to introduce them on neutral ground. So it's very difficult for a dog that's living in your house and has, their life set and their routines to have this puppy run into their space and kind of take over. So if you can introduce them somewhere else, that also helps your existing pets not to feel territorial. So that can kind of smooth over that first meeting. If you already have your puppy home and you're trying to figure out how to kind of just improve the situation, then you want to think about a few other things. So one of them is having safe spaces for your animals. So a lot of times if you have a cat and they don't like the puppy, you can give them a higher space, one of those like cat platforms that they can go up onto, just so they can get away from the puppy and take a break. We talked a lot last week about you having your safe space set up for your puppy. So that's a great way to give your existing dog a break. Put the puppy in timeout. Let the puppy have those rest times that they really should have anyway. And it gives your dog a break. Don't make your dog deal with your puppy 24/7. It's just a lot for them if they're not into it. Some dogs will just adopt that puppy and that's it, but most will not. It will take some time for them to get used to each other. It's really good too to use baby gates because they're not solid. So that way your dog and your puppy can see each other. They can even put their noses near each other, but they're not in each other's space. The puppy's not jumping on your dog and kind of taking over. And that's a nice way for them to sort of be getting used to each other, but not like right in each other's space. Okay, so we also want to jump in and teach those basic commands to our puppy as soon as possible. The sit, the stay, the leave it. We've already talked about those. Keep working on those, particularly leave it. That's a great one when your puppy is really bugging your dog or your cat, and you can say leave it and they'll listen to you. So keep working on those techniques. Go back and review if you need to. Another thing is that you want to have supervised playtime, particularly if your dog is being grumpy, if you're seeing some signs of aggression, you're seeing some hair stand up on the back of their neck, they're giving a little growl, that you can just tell they're annoyed. You definitely want to supervise their playtime. You want to keep them short. You want to use positive reinforcement. I know with Sadie, she would go, like give her a little growl. She wouldn't do anything, but she would just let her know, like, I don't like you. So we would have both of them sit and give them treats together. And they started to realize, okay, we're all right. We're having good times because we're getting treats, and that makes it positive. And Sadie was like, all right, I get treats when the puppy's around and I don't bite her head off. So it's okay. So starting to have those short supervised play times with a lot of positive reinforcement. Also, a good thing is to keep your puppy on a leash. So that way you can control it. If they start to get jumpy, if they start, they like to get on, sometimes they'll get on your dog's back, which can be really annoying for a dog, or chase your cat. That way you can control your puppy if it starts to get out of control. It's just a great way to let your dog, your existing pets, know that you're in control and they don't have to worry. You don't want to allow your puppy to kind of get bossy. Puppies sometimes can shoulder, right? They'll use their shoulder to kind of push your dog or cat out of the way. They can come over like you're petting your dog and the puppy comes over and totally steals your attention. Even though you are always two eyes on your puppy because you want to see what they're doing, make sure you give your existing pets the attention that they got before, the snuggles, uninterrupted. Even if your puppy needs to go into timeout in their space, just make sure that you're still letting your pets know that you are still their parent and they don't have to worry about this puppy completely taking over your attention. So as we gain confidence, as your dog or cat starts to get used to the puppy, then you can slowly increase the time that they spend together. You also want to have separate toys. Make sure that your puppy isn't stealing your dog's favorite toy. That's so upsetting for a dog if they're not feeling great about having the puppy there. You can also feed them in separate areas. That's really great because feeding time is a very vulnerable time for dogs. Their instincts tell them that at any time someone could come and steal the food, right? When wolves are out eating on a carcass, there might be a bunch of different animals that could come and steal that from them. So that's a time when their instincts are telling them that other creatures could be a threat. So definitely want to start out with feeding them separately. You can always bring them together later when they have a little more harmony and they're a little used to each other. Just want to make sure that you also think about excessive chasing and jumping. We kind of talked about that with the leash. You just want to make sure that your puppy isn't overwhelming your pets. So always put your puppy in timeout, let them have separate time when things get out of control. So a couple things to troubleshoot this. If your existing pet is avoiding your dog or fearful, you don't want to push things too fast. Allow your pet to go and have time. If your cat is spending 24 hours a day almost behind the couch, I had someone ask me this the other day, it's okay. That's what they need to do in that moment, right? You can try some treats. Definitely you want puppy to be away and then try to get your cat to come and snuggle and spend some quality time, but that will change over time. You just want to be patient and let them get used to the new situation. If you're seeing that your puppy is too pushy, then you want to use more brain games. We talked about those yesterday. More exercise, more interactive puzzle solving things to burn off their extra energy. They really need that extra energy to be burned off in a better way. Otherwise, they're going to cause mischief and really go after your pets and try to cause trouble or push your pet into playing when they don't want to. That's a big one too. Sadie is so much older than Tessa. She doesn't want to play all the time, and Tessa's always like, let's play, let's play, let's play. Now, they've been together for 5 years. They're wonderful. It's so cute. It took a long time, but now when Tessa comes in, Sadie's tail will be wagging. It's very sweet. They don't spend all day playing. That's never been a thing, but they definitely love each other and they live in harmony, which is really all we can ask of them, is that they are happy together in whatever way they figured out their relationship to be. So also don't have preconceived notions that this is how it's going to be and we have to keep pushing towards that. As long as there's harmony, then that's how they want to be. That's what they've decided their relationship is. Cool. So if you see tension, aggression, you want to slow down. If you're having growling, if you're having humping from your adult dog to your puppy, sometimes puppies will hump and they don't mean it aggressively. They just don't know what they're doing. But if you're seeing any signs of aggression, you definitely want to slow down. You want to back up. You want to have them have less time together. You want to go slower. You want to have more positive reinforcement. And it's always okay to bring in a professional trainer if you're at all concerned. Things will get better over time, but if you're not seeing that improvement, if you're not feeling like it's getting better after a few weeks, then bring someone in and just get a professional opinion, someone that can help you out seeing that specific circumstance that you're in. Okay, a few tips before I go. Be consistent and be patient. We've talked about that this whole time with basically every lesson, right? We want to be consistent with the things that we're doing with the dogs, to introduce them, to have them have time together, and we want to be patient. We want to celebrate our small wins. Take a little note of what's happening so that you can see a week from now, is it improving? Sometimes when we see something all the time, we don't notice that it's improving. So make a little note in your schedule and see how you do a week from now. Also, positive reinforcement, as we talked about, that's always a great way to go. Make it a positive experience for your pets, and make sure that you're giving your pets daily individual attention. Definitely want to put puppy in timeout and make sure that you're snuggling your animals like you used to. Don't let them feel like you are gone, like you no longer are focused on them, because that will definitely cause some jealousy and possibly aggression from your pets. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. Let me know if you have questions, and I will see you tomorrow.